The white was good. I like the white one. I'm sipping on Bel Air. My chick from Bel Air. My whip from Germany. I'm cooler than LL. I'm sipping on Bel Air. My chick from Bel Air. My whip from Germany. I'm cooler than LL. I clap a nigga like patty cake. I clap a nigga like patty cake. I'm swaggin', I got flavor, I got salt. Call me Ragu. I love my baby girl. Pussy ball, call her Caillou. I clap a nigga like patty cake. Yeah.
We're heading to, so I ended up getting 2 more days off work than I thought I was gonna get, which is good for me because I was only gonna get like 2, maybe 2.5 days of practice on the Potomac, which I've never been there before, and that'll determine if I can get a berth to the no entry fee Toyota Series Championship on Table Rock Lake in November, based on my finish there. And I was gonna get 2 days to pre-fish somewhere I've never been in my entire life. Never fished there, don't know anything about it, so it's just a lot of pressure. But since I picked up 2 days, that'll actually free up my next week. So what I'm gonna do right now is it's almost 7 o'clock. I'm gonna head to Bass Pro Shops, get another little tackle thing. That's another thing, is this van is absolutely packed out with stuff, just to the brim. Spare rods, tackle stuff, whole 9 yards. But I'm gonna head to Bass Pro, get another little tackle thing to help condense Florida tackle, because to make room for northern tackle I removed Florida things, so now Florida things are spread all over the place, and so now I gotta put them somewhere else because I took over some of those boxes with northern things. But that's also why I got like 15 or 20 empty tackle boxes back there. But anyways, gotta stop at Bass Pro, get something, heading out of town. I'm gonna go to St. John's, and hopefully by Sunday I can find something that gives me something to work with on St. John's River and gives me some confidence. I haven't been on St. John's in like 3 years, and I just wrapped this boat up, so I haven't even got to really fish much. But I'm gonna get to St. John's hopefully tomorrow morning, which is Saturday morning. And Saturday and Sunday I can find enough fish to where I feel solid, and then I can be like, okay, I'm confident enough here to where I can spend all of Monday traveling to get to the Potomac, fish on the Potomac for Tuesday, Wednesday, at least Tuesday and Wednesday, maybe Thursday, Tuesday and Wednesday, depending on how St. John's go, and then turn around and maybe get 1 day of, if I leave Wednesday, travel day, and then 1 more day in St. John's, and then fish a super tournament there. If I'm feeling really good about what I found in St. John's just over the weekend, I'm like, all right, I have plenty of stuff here to fish 2 days. This is what I'm gonna do. Then I can go to Potomac, fish 3 days, come right back, spend the last day traveling to get to the St. John's River, get there, do the super tournament, and then after I do the super tournament, I can turn around, go right back up to the Potomac, and then fish for like 2.5 days what I was gonna get up there at the Potomac, so I can have a good pre-fishing window for up there and a good pre-fishing window for St. John's. But I have to accomplish a lot in a really short period of time, do a lot of driving, a lot of travel, and yeah, kind of sky's the limit. And could go really good, could go really bad, but we're gonna wing it and hopefully it works out. So yeah. So it's been a long pre-fishing period. St. John's River, Potomac, back to St. John's, seen a lot of big fish, caught some good fish. I haven't even actually made a cast at fish in the area that I'm going to be starting on, so I have no clue how that'll work. They're catchable in some of the other places. You have to work for them pretty hard, but they're catchable. On top of that, we have about everything in the world rigged that we could rig to try and finesse fish big, smart, finicky largemouth. Complications for this afternoon are graph malfunctions. We got a graph malfunction with our 12 live and our 16 live being waterlogged, and the front one is currently not working. This one is still working, but if it blows up, then I don't have navigation. And it has been over 3 years since I've been here. Since I've actually been in a boat here, it's been probably, I don't know, 3.5 years or something. And I've actually never made the run from where we're launching out of Palatka all the way to where I'm fishing. So I could probably Google map it, but I don't really, you kind of want charts and stuff. That would be cool. So hopefully my $4,000 graph decides it wants to wake up or not break in the morning, and my whatever, however much a freaking 12 is, works tomorrow. That's the goal. So we're gonna go get some sleep. Everything's pretty much done. Should be all good. And man, we're around the right fish. We saw a few more today. I actually got to put my eyes on them. And in a cumulative like 3 areas on the main river, I've seen a total for a best 5 somewhere in the 30-pound range. Multiple 20-pound bags worth. You just have to get them to bite, and that's the tricky part. I don't know how much time I'll have to fish. I don't know really exactly how far the run is. I just know I can make the run, so I'm not going to worry about it. I'm going to track my time when I get there, and I'm going to fish my butt off, and hopefully by the end of the day, just get 5 bites. If I can get 5 bites, and they're the size of the fish that we've been seeing, it should be rock on solid. There's smaller fish in those areas too, so I could potentially catch a much smaller limit than what I'd hope to catch. But the right 5 do live in there. That's kind of the main point. So if they live there and I can get a crack at them, that, who knows, maybe I'll weigh some serious weight.
Better one.
No, wait. Sorry. Hang on. I'll tell you. Hang on. Thank you, Lord. One day, there was like 4 or 5 fish right there.
Really?
Yeah, I saw them in the creek. They got the fleetest one I logged.
Dang. Cool. Can't beat that.
Oh gosh. Yeah, it's a custom tail.
Swim bait, huh?
Small swim bait. I've done that before in canals and it works really freaking well.
Dang.
Oh my god.
Nice one. Net. them, aren't you?
Man, I needed that fish bad.
What are you catching them with? A fluke?
Yeah, fluke.
Huh?
Yeah, fluke. Goodness gracious, I needed that fish. Man, that's a coal and a half.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we got less than an hour to get out there.
Well, update, we're fixing to head out. We squeaked into the day 2 cut. It's 5:20. Got to get to the ramp here, but we squeaked into that day 2 cut. Kind of really fortunate that happened. Fortunate I caught what I caught. It was tough fishing down there. I had potential opportunities to weigh more weight. I was around good fish. They just would not bite. I didn't miss any fish that I actually hooked. I had one fish bite and spit it out before I could even set the hook. That was a very nice fish, but that's how it goes in fishing sometimes. It's not always the easiest and not always just a walk in the park. So especially at these end of the year tournaments, it can be really, really difficult at times. But anyways, somehow 12 and like 3/4 or just over 12 and 3/4 pounds got us to the final day of this thing. So we're getting paid. We're just a little bit inside check range. So I'm just gonna go to Rodman instead of the river today. And I'm just gonna go have fun, man. Usually you don't weigh great weight anyways when you're super tensed up and real worried. So it's kind of a pressure reliever to be in there in that cut range and get the fish today. When you're at the bottom of the pile of the final day, you have a lot of scope to go up. You don't really have much to lose. It's not like I'm sitting in 2nd or 5th or 8th or something. So yeah, not too worried about it. A little worried about lock times and locking in and out of Rodman, because if that's where I'm trying to catch all my fish and I have a shorter day than I did yesterday, significantly fishing wise, because that I have to deal with the lock times, I'll lose a lot of time. Because where I was far. I had a long run in the morning, but and coming back, but it was still less than an hour, and so I have to be out of Rodman at 2 because that's the last lock time. And so with a weigh-in at 3, that's an hour left at the end of the day for run time, which I wouldn't have to deal with if I was fishing on the river. So, and that means I don't have to just stop fishing at 2. That means I gotta get out of my fishing area probably, I don't know, 15-20 minutes beforehand and rock it over to the lock and make sure I don't miss that lock. So it is what it is. But yeah, we're gonna go fish and have some fun and hopefully get some some cool opportunities and weigh some good fish. That's the plan. Hoping to get a couple lucky frog bites in the morning. I don't know if that bite will have changed, if I'll even be able to do that. I don't know if guys tried to do that yesterday. I have no clue. So we'll go in there and just go fish around, and hopefully it works out. Yeah, well, camera.
I run it all day.
You never know what you're going to do.
Huh? Yay!
He's going to measure too.
He's 12, yep. Got him?
What's going on, guys? Just finished up the first leg of our 2 tournament expedition, St. John's River MLF Super Tournament. Made the cut to fish day 2 on day 1. Fishing here is really tough today. Day 1 I actually fished really clean. Caught a fish that was almost 5 pounds. Was sight fishing, so that was cool. Just today was a lot tougher day, and I failed to capitalize on 2 bites. So ended up in 18th, not bad. Anytime you're finishing in the money, it's hard to complain, but we got the boat all ready, and now we're gonna head on up to Potomac and finish up a few days of practice up there. Fish a 3-day Toyota, Northern Toyota up there, and hopefully stay in a good spot in the standings up there and qualify for the championship on Table Rock Lake. But anyways, big shout out to all the people that came up and hung out, and yeah, catch you at Potomac River. What's going on, guys? Ben McCann here. Just want to give a quick recap on some of the baits I used for this past tournament on St. John's River. It's kind of a tough tournament, grinder. I was fortunate to make the day 2, but day 2 I ended up missing bites, and day 1 just didn't quite go as planned. I'd found fish in practice, and I put my eyes on probably about 30 pounds of fish, a lot of 4 to 6 pound class fish, some pushing 7 pounds. I caught one that was 6 and change, and just was around good fish. They were just very, very difficult to bite. In fact, the ones that I found in practice, I didn't actually get the ones that I found in practice to bite. I got fish in some of the areas that I found in practice to bite, but not that specific area that I saw like 30 pounds in. They were just way too smart. When I caught the majority of my fish on day 1, I was sight fishing. So my big fish I visibly watched come out and get it, come out from under a tree after a wolf pack of bass was cruising down a bank towards me. I watched like, I don't know, 4 to 6 bass coming down the bank right to me. And then I pitched past them, brought it over their shoulder, kind of a little bit off the bank from them, and started twitching at one that was probably 2.5 or 3 pounds, got up under it and tried to eat it. It actually hit it, and then didn't get it in reposition real quick to line up on it, and then that was when the big fish shot out from underneath the tree, and I kid you not, like that deep water off the bank. Shot out from underneath the tree in like negative water, got underneath of it, I twitched it like once or twice, and then he just ate it. And it's very difficult to actually land those fish that eat those baits. Sometimes I ended up totally fumbling a MLF BFL on Harris Chain this year by losing several different fish. Doing that, one ate and then got wrapped on a tree, and the treble hooks hung on the tree, and the fish came off. And so it's just very tense when they eat it, and it's close quarters like that on a hard body swim bait. So, but what I was sight fishing and I caught that big fish on is, I probably shouldn't show this, but it's a modified 6 Sense trace, which is a jointed swim bait, and I'm fishing on a Power Rod 795. It's a bluegill color, which is smaller than the normal size trace that I would fish, but I was fishing a smaller one because I was around very finicky fish, but big fish, and I knew that there was a lot of bluegill in those areas. I'm fishing it on a Daiwa Tatula 8-to-1. It's their like old school CT, 20-pound Seaguar red label, and like I said, Power Rod's 795, which is perfect for smaller swim baits, big easies. You could fish, I mean, heck, anything on it. You can punch with it, you can frog with it, but I would say that it is probably one of the best hard bait swim bait rods I have in my boat for smaller to mid-sized swim baits, or wake baits or things like that. But anyways, it's got plenty of tip to where even with these smaller hooks, which I believe these are size 4, so hooks I would fish on a walking topwater or a crankbait, on a 7-9 punching rod, it has enough of a tip and enough of a backbone to not bend those hooks out and still land a nearly 5-pound fish on a bait like that. So very impressive what that rod can do. That was a setup I caught my big fish on, and I think I only caught one fish on that, but this is one of those setups where when those fish and those opportunities arise like that, this would be my number one thing to pick up, as you'll see in the video when I fished. I immediately, this was the first thing I picked up and pitched to him, because it's just such a triggering bait for a fish like that that it's too hard not to pass up on throwing something like that at him. So that's what I fished. For some of the sight fishing fish, I also caught some fish on a very, very teeny Senko, like a 3-inch Senko, on a little spinning rod, but I don't really think I caught much weight on that. I also caught the very fish I caught at the very end of the day was on a trap on a Power Rod 725, which is a great trap rod with 12-pound line. And that was like a 2-something pounder that called on my very last cast and ran all the way back, which helped me make it to day 2. And then I was also, what sort of saved my day was fishing a fluke on a Power Rod 764. You'll see, I don't know if you can tell in the video the times, but it got down to the dead end of the day, and I only think I had like 2 fish in the well. And so it was kind of one of those head-scratching moments where it's like, uh-oh, kind of going to make something happen. So I made a move into an area that I'd fished in pre-fishing. I caught a 6-pounder out of, which I sight fished, but it'd been a lot more tannic in there, and the situation just was not like it was when I'd found it in pre-fishing. And so I wanted to cover water, but I wanted to still try and maximize my bites because I didn't have a limit. So I put a fluke on to cover water, and it was weedless, so I could really get it up in places, and I ended up catching like a 3-pounder right at the end of the day, 2 3/4 3-pounder. Filled out a bag on that fluke, and yeah, day 1 I actually fished super clean. I didn't miss any fish. Day 2 I missed 2 bites, but that's a different story. So I fished that fluke, helped salvage my day 1 and get me to day 2. The fluke setup I was fishing, it's Power Rod 764. A 764 is just a hair lighter than the 765, which I use that for like heavy Texas rigs, big worms, Carolina rig, jig, small swim baits. You can use it for all sorts of stuff, but a little bit more of a heavy technique. When I'm going lighter, weightless, anything more finesse, walking topwater even, I'll fish the 764. So at Power Rods Endurance 764 is exactly where I used to fish this. I had a perfect hookup ratio, didn't miss any fish on this. Boated every fish at 8, and that's just fishing 20-pound Seaguar Red Label fluorocarbon again. And I'm a Gamakatsu guy, so it's a Gamakatsu 4-aught Superline EWG hook. But that's what I was fishing for that. It's also Daiwa Tatula SV, I believe, 8-to-1. So that kind of helped finish out my day 1. I also caught one of the fish in the shallow sight fishing area. I was fishing on a big worm. I didn't catch it on this rod, but I caught it on a big worm like this exact big worm, just not on this exact blank. I was fishing a lot of my weightless stuff actually on this Powell Max 765, but not with this bait. So that's kind of what I did day 1. Day 2, I ran to Rodman. Right off the rip, I caught a fish on a weighted speed worm, like a backhatchet color gambler speed worm, and that was on a Power Rod 765 with 20-pound Seagar, red label, and a Daiwa Tatula CT 8-1. And then I went into Rodman, missed 2 fish that would have helped, another fish that wouldn't have helped, but 2 fish that would have helped. Both were probably 3 and change. Fishing a Power Rod 765 because, as you'll see, and then I had GoPro issues, but as you'll see, I was fishing really dense pads. I can cast speed worm really far, like weightless worms and things really far. So I was casting these worms way out away from the boat. The second big fish I had, I ran out of storage space on the GoPro to record, or something happened to it, so GoPro stopped recording. But both those fish, they were on far casts. Fish 8 swam around pads, set the hook, and with fluorocarbon and really thick pads on a far cast, your hookup ratio is going to be low. So I missed both those fish. Then I switched over at braid, caught the next fish I caught on a speed worm, caught several on a swim jig and a small speed worm, and then I went around throwing the same fluke setup and this max setup with a weightless speed worm, 765 house, 765 max with a weightless speed worm. And when it got towards the end of the day, I started covering isolated pads that I caught like a handful of better fish doing in pre-fishing, like 4 bites in like 2 hours. But they were better fish that were all like 3-pounders. So I did that at the end of the day. And fortunately, I got one within probably like the last 10 minutes. It was close to 3 and helped me move up some spots in the standings on day 2. But that's kind of what I did on St. John's River. It's what I fished. Power rods is the name of the game. That's what I was checking. Dial reels is what I use to winch every fish in, and fish clean other than just missing 2 fish. Day 2 on Rodman. Outside of that, I didn't really miss much. Yeah, especially nothing that would have helped. And yeah, that was just a kind of recap on St. John's River. If you enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe. Sorry I missed some of the clips on day 2. It happens. Sometimes you have GoPro issues. It happens a lot to me. And it's a little difficult on tournament day when you're trying to catch a nice limit of fish to stop and take 15 minutes to try and figure out GoPro issues. So sometimes you just got to roll on. So that's what I did on day 2. But anyways, stay tuned. I'm going to get more videos up. And thanks for watching.